So today we dey talk about lesson number two, and lesson number two get for help una understand wetin na climate change. Already na big word climate, so we get for explain that one day. When rain come, na the farmers dem first dey know. They know say rainy season dey pan come, and they know last year when rainy season been come. So they always dey watch keenly for decide when rain dey come. Then you know when rain come late because that means say the dry season don't tey. The dry season feel long. And they know say when that sun dey knack the soil, it dey damage the soil. All things inside that soil they spoil, and the harvest not dey come out fine. They also dey notice say them water side them like swamp so, or then small river them, then can small during the dry season, and they can understand when if the dry season get for tey, certain swamp then the way normally always water can dey there. If them self can dry, that they tell them say the place really dry this year. This not a theory or something where people that they talk about. This na fact. For understand wetin na climate, we get for understand better one wetin na the weather, because difference dey between the weather and the climate. When people then they talk about the weather, now something waiting they happen today. Now na the weather. So if today warm, if rain they come today, if breeze they blows today, then they na the weather of today. However, when we dey talk about climate, not all the weather today, not all wetin happen yesterday. Sometimes you go say, oh, tomorrow rain get for come. All down there na weather because now something where they happen today. However, when you talk about climate, now something where they happen for more than 10 years. Waiting don't happen for the past 10 years. How if the rainy season last year been long, or if the dry season instead of last year we get a long dry season, and the year before again na be long dry season. If 10 years pass, always na long dry season, whilst the farmer be no say not to so it been be before. Down there na climate. So climate na the normal pattern, na so then they call am a pattern where something they repeat over many years. Down there na climate. So just one grain bad dry season way long, e no do. Or if this year heavy rain then they come, you say, oh, climate don't change. Then they not do for talk about climate change. You get for check the pattern where it don't change and it dey repeat itself year after year after year after year. So now then big question then they when people then they talk about climate change, now in they mean. So the picture we'll get now na a graph where they show the temperature and how that temperature been there 19 1890, 1900, every 10 years, 1920, 1940, till 2020. What you see now the blue, it shows say the temperature it be low. Now make that blue the point go down. But when they come later to 2000, 2020, see Boku red, it show we say the weather and the temperature it been warm every season. It been a warm. They say the temperature na the earth also where you go, it dey increase. And down they not to just today tomorrow na something we don't last for more than 100 years. And I make them they say na climate nine don't change so because the place they warm more. This next slide, it get for can talk about research and it get for can talk about science. Now other two word them where we get for introduce to una, waiting a science and waiting a research. So Motorman we dey Salone, Motorman we dey England, Motorman we dey other country than Africa. Then they wonder, wetin make this temperature it dey increase, because now that people then say. And the only way we will go able to answer this question, not to go to the farmers then for ask wetin make the temperature e dey raise, but na science, na the master sabi people them, na scientists that one day. And then they study this temperature keenly, carefully. Then they test all side, not to just Macombe, Port Loko, or Kenema, or then they go Guinea, then they go Mali, then they go Holland, then they go United States of America, then they go all side for go study if yonder back again the same thing they happen. If the place they warm and the temperature they increase. So this side, this waka within the waka for go search all side. Now then call research. So science get a method. The master sabi people then get the method how for study waiting na the temperature and how that temperature they change. And now then they call research. So research it means say you dey watch one question closely till you don't know wetin dey happen. So if people then don't observe say the temperature na this earth e dey raise, dem go want for know wetin make that swamp dey dry, wetin make that river e dey small, wetin make the farm then dey produce lesser harvest, the rest wetin make the harvest not dey comot fine, we wan harvest the rest or the groundnut, wetin make that dey happen, if not because the temperature the range they increase or if you get other cause. They also they can check if them flood them. Flood now when the water side Kimboku it dey overflow or then gutter then can overflow. Heavy rain then can come. Then can wonder wetin make down there they happen and if it dey happen pass mark. So research now not for just say you dey talk to anybody for guess wetin dey happen. Research na a method, a scientific method for test wetin dey happen, so you go able find out the result and you go able draw wetin they call conclusion of wetin now na the cause of climate change. So for climate change, for discuss and for find out wetin the cause down there, you need research. The example I get for explain wetin na research, we get one dam na Salone we dey call Bumbuna. Dam na something like bridge or blockage where we dey block the river water for lay full up. If you watch the picture, you see say on the right you see say water don't block, you know the wrong go down at the left. Down in a dam and a Bumbuna. So what they can do, then they make small hole inside that dam there, inside that wall, inside the water they can pass, and then they put something there where they turn as the water, then they left the water for lay run down, that hill there, they turn, and that turn where they turn, they generate electricity. And down in a hydro, then they call Anguma Valley Hydro Dam, where they generate electricity. At times, that water we there on the right, that lake it can dry. So then get some research what they can do. They can put solar panel and they can put thermometer na the water side and this thing where they float up on the water for research. So down in a research for study if the temperature they go up and waiting at the level of the water. So this is now one example of research where they can do for find out say waiting they happen to the water na the dam. Now I get for tell you now waiting statistics now that big word where the scientists then they use for explain. So the scientists and you see people then bokuna ya all man get your own idea if the harvest come off fine or it not come off fine. So then just not they check one grain farm no more. Then they go to Boku side them for Boku years them for determine waiting they cause this harvest for lay not come off fine. When they collect all this information, now then they call statistics. So statistics means say you they count all the different example them for try for come up with a pattern. Remember say pattern not to this year, not to next year, or not to last year no more, but you get forget more than 10 years where they collect all the information together, you get a pattern. So if one grain farm you get bad harvest, down they not to a pattern. it can be say na just local problem, the arata dem boku dey or the cutting grass na then go eat the rest. So down they not to the cause, but then get for study boku boku farm them, if they all get the same problem in boku different village them and many years them. And at that time the way you find out always not the same result, always not the same results they come out. Now that's then they call the statistics where then they pull the number where they don't find. And this pattern now in evidence, the evidence they show say waiting and waiting they don't discover something are true down in evidence, then they show say something where they don't discover in this statistics and this science research not true. So if I want come back to waiting people then they talk in the world but climate, you know say we don't discover say people then they say this temperature of the earth it they increase, the place they warm no more. Some people then can say 97% of all the scientists, the climate scientists, so now the climate master sabi people then, they don't agree say the place they warm. So when we talk about 97%, that means if you take 100 people out of that 100, the 97 don't talk say this temperature they increase. And we get one scientist we name John Cook. He don't study more than 12,000 different article, different paper, newspaper, but also science article, where they talk say na mortar man nine cause this climate for change. And that then na boku na important something. So when we they watch this, we they wonder what down they mean for we. And how it don't go about that. So they don't study more than thousand different article, and some of the article then give very clear answer for say yes, na so it get for be the climate and the temperature they increase. But some other article they not been too very clear. Now make you need somebody where they study all the different article for collate them together for come conclude say yes indeed this climate it don't change. Inside them picture they are they show some of the scientists them, the picture of some of the scientists them where people that sabi for climate change. So we get Linus, Houston, and Perry. We study more than 88,000 different publications. That na article then we day about climate change, and na something we they call evidence for say okay well who that talk and say the temperature there is. Now well you can just say Linus, Houston, and Perry, and then talk and say the temperature they rise. We want to know now this climate change, wetin that they mean for Salone. And one of the things that some of una go down here is say landslide they happen. So Pandem Mountain, the outside and they go chap all the tick them. We then say Motorman nine cause climate change. Where you chap all the tick them. You know say the trees then they cover away from the sun and they root them back again, then they hold the soil together. And when you chop them, you know they get because the animal not go able they not get nothing for eat, water not they, road they not they, electricity they not they, farm and forest then they affect. So when we dey talk about climate change, we get for know wetin that they mean for Salone and wetin that they mean for other countries. And down they give we beaucoup sense now wetin climate change. I want to end this presentation for saying that God now creates the world, but na mortal man now they build the agriculture, now they push the water for block and go some side like Bubuna, now they plant some of the trees them. So mortal man now they change things that within they na the earth. So we get for observe how we they treat this earth where God don't give we. We get for observe, we get for measure, we get for count, we get for compare the different countries them, waiting they happen there. Then we get for act for make sure say we know they spoil the earth. So now that.